Have you ever stopped to think about how strong your bones really are? Most people assume their bones will always be there to support them until one day something unexpected happens. Maybe it's a simple trip on the sidewalk, reaching for something on a high shelf, or even getting out of bed the wrong way. Suddenly, a bone breaks, and that's often the first moment people realize something has been changing inside their bodies for years. Here's the scary truth. Your bones can become weaker, little by little, without causing any pain at all. That's why osteoporosis is often called the silent disease. It doesn't usually announce itself with loud symptoms. Instead, it quietly steals bone strength over time, until a small accident becomes a life-changing injury. The good news is that your body often gives you subtle warning signs long before that happens. The challenge is knowing what those signs look like. Today I'm going to walk you through 7 important signs that your bones may be getting weaker. Some of these signs might seem completely unrelated to bone health, which is exactly why so many people ignore them. Stay with me until the end, because the last sign is one that catches millions of people by surprise every single year. And remember, this video is meant to help you become more aware of your health, not to diagnose any medical condition. If any of these signs sound familiar, it's always a good idea to speak with your healthcare provider. Now let's begin with the first warning sign. Number 1, you're slowly losing height. This may sound like something that naturally happens as we age, and while it's true that some changes are expected over time, losing noticeable height is not something you should simply brush aside. Many people don't even realize it's happening because the change is so gradual. Maybe your favorite pants suddenly seem a little too long. Maybe family members mention that you look shorter in recent photos. Or perhaps during your yearly doctor's visit, you're told you've lost an inch since your last measurement. This isn't always just aging. Inside your spine are small bones called vertebrae. When those bones begin losing density, they can develop tiny compression fractures. These fractures are often so small that you don't even remember injuring yourself, but over time they cause the spine to compress, making you appear shorter. In some cases, people lose 2 or even 3 inches without understanding why. That's why doctors pay close attention to height changes in older adults. Your height can reveal more about your bone health than you might expect. Now let's move to sign number 2, ongoing back pain. Almost everyone experiences back pain at some point. Maybe you spent too much time gardening, lifted a heavy box, or slept in an awkward position. Usually, that kind of pain improves within a few days. But if your back pain keeps coming back or never seems to completely go away, it deserves more attention. Weakening bones in the spine can develop tiny fractures that create persistent pain. Sometimes the discomfort feels dull and achy. Other times it feels sharp when standing or walking. Many people mistakenly treat it with heating pads or over-the-counter pain relievers without ever discovering the real cause. Imagine your spine as the support beam of a house. If those beams slowly become weaker, the entire structure begins carrying weight differently. That's exactly what happens inside your body. Your muscles work harder to compensate, your posture changes, and discomfort gradually becomes part of daily life. If you've had unexplained back pain for weeks or months, especially if you're over the age of 50, don't assume it's simply part of getting older. It could be your bones asking for help. Now let's talk about sign number 3, changes in your posture. Think about the last time you looked at an old family photo. Did you notice that you used to stand taller? Maybe your shoulders were straighter, your neck wasn't leaning forward, and your back looked more upright. As bone density decreases, especially in the spine, many people gradually develop a rounded upper back. Friends and family may say you're beginning to stoop, or perhaps you notice yourself looking downward instead of straight ahead while walking. This isn't just about appearance. Poor posture caused by weakened spinal bones can affect balance, breathing, digestion, and even confidence. As your center of gravity shifts forward, you're also more likely to lose your balance and fall, increasing your risk of fractures even further. It's a cycle that can become difficult to break if ignored. That's why maintaining good posture isn't just about standing up straight. It's also about protecting the bones that support your entire body. Sign number 4 may surprise you because it has nothing to do with your back. It's your grip strength. Try thinking about the little things you do every day without much thought. Opening a jar of pasta sauce, carrying grocery bags from the car, twisting the cap off a water bottle, holding a coffee mug with one hand. If these everyday tasks suddenly feel harder than they used to, you might assume your muscles are simply getting weaker. But research has shown that grip strength often reflects overall physical health, including bone strength. Healthcare providers sometimes measure grip strength because it gives valuable clues about how well the body is aging. If you're dropping objects more often, struggling to hold on to heavier items, or noticing that your hands tire quickly, don't dismiss it as something unimportant. While it doesn't automatically mean your bones are weak, it can be one piece of a much bigger picture. Your body rarely gives just one warning sign. It usually gives several small clues that together tell a more complete story. That's why paying attention to changes, even small ones, matters so much. Before we continue, take just a second to think about your own health. Have you noticed any of these signs? Losing height? Back pain? Changes in posture? A weaker grip? If so, don't panic. Awareness is the first step toward protecting your health. The earlier bone loss is discovered, the more options you have to slow it down and reduce the risk of serious fractures later in life. And believe it or not, the next 3 signs are even more surprising because most people never connect them to their bones at all. One of them may actually be hiding in your mouth every single day, and another can happen even if you feel completely healthy. That's why you definitely don't want to miss the rest of this list. Now let's continue with warning sign number 5. And this one surprises almost everyone because it starts in the place most people would never associate with their bones: your mouth. Have you ever gone to the dentist for a routine cleaning and been told that your gums are receding or that there has been some bone loss around your teeth? Many people assume it's simply because they're getting older, or maybe they haven't flossed enough. But sometimes the story goes much deeper than that. Your teeth don't simply sit inside your gums. They're anchored into your jawbone. And just like the bones in your hips, spine, and wrists, your jawbone can also lose density over time. As that bone becomes weaker, it may no longer support your teeth the way it once did. You might notice your gums pulling away, your teeth feeling slightly loose, or changes in the way your bite feels when you chew. In some cases, dentists are actually the first healthcare professionals to recognize signs that someone may have osteoporosis long before a broken bone ever happens. That's one reason regular dental visits are about much more than keeping your smile bright. They can provide valuable clues about your overall health. So if your dentist has mentioned bone loss, receding gums, or loose teeth, don't ignore that conversation. It may be worth discussing your bone health with your primary care provider as well. Now let's move to sign number 6. And this one is one of the clearest warning signs of all. You break a bone after a minor fall or a simple accident. Think about this for a moment. Healthy bones are incredibly strong. They're designed to support your body every single day. They allow you to walk, climb stairs, carry groceries, play with your grandchildren, exercise, and recover from the occasional slip or stumble. While anyone can break a bone during a major accident, a healthy skeleton shouldn't usually fracture from something as minor as tripping over a curb, slipping in the kitchen, or falling from standing height. Yet every year, millions of adults experience exactly that. They break a wrist trying to catch themselves during a fall. They crack a rib after bumping into furniture. They suffer a hip fracture after what seemed like a harmless slip. Doctors often refer to these as fragility fractures because they happen when bones have become fragile enough that everyday impacts are simply too much for them to handle. What's especially concerning is that many people focus only on treating the fracture itself. They wear the cast, complete physical therapy, and move on with life without ever asking the most important question of all. Why did my bone break so easily? That question matters because once someone experiences one fragility fracture, their risk of another fracture often increases significantly if the underlying bone weakness isn't addressed. That's why doctors frequently recommend a bone density test after certain fractures, especially in adults over 50. If you've ever broken a bone from what seemed like a small accident, don't simply chalk it up to bad luck. It may have been your body's way of asking for attention. And now we've reached number 7, the warning sign that almost nobody recognizes because ironically, it doesn't feel like a warning sign at all. You feel completely fine. That's right. One of the most dangerous things about weakening bones is that they often cause absolutely no symptoms during the early stages. No pain, no swelling, no obvious discomfort. You can wake up feeling perfectly healthy, go to work, exercise, spend time with your family, and have no idea that your bones are gradually becoming thinner year after year. That's exactly why osteoporosis is known as the silent disease. It quietly progresses behind the scenes until one day a fracture suddenly changes everything. This is why understanding your personal risk factors is so important. Ask yourself a few simple questions. Are you over the age of 50? Have you gone through menopause? Does osteoporosis run in your family? Do you smoke? Do you drink alcohol heavily on a regular basis? Have you taken steroid medications like prednisone for several months or longer? Do you spend very little time doing weight-bearing exercise, such as walking or strength training? Have you been told you have low vitamin D levels? Do you avoid dairy or calcium-rich foods without replacing those nutrients in other ways? If you answered yes to several of those questions, it doesn't necessarily mean you have osteoporosis, but it does mean your risk could be higher than you realize. That's why screening can be so valuable. A simple bone density scan can often identify bone loss before a fracture ever occurs, giving you the opportunity to make changes that could protect your health for years to come. And here's something many people don't realize. Your bones are living tissue. They're not lifeless structures like concrete or steel. Every single day, your body is breaking down old bone and building new bone. When you're young, your body builds bone faster than it removes it, which is why bones become stronger during childhood and early adulthood. But as we age, especially after midlife, that balance begins to change. Bone is removed faster than it's replaced. The encouraging news is that lifestyle choices can still make a meaningful difference. While aging is something none of us can stop, there are many habits that support healthier bones. Eating enough calcium is important because calcium serves as one of the major building blocks of bone. Foods such as milk, yogurt, cheese, fortified plant-based beverages, leafy green vegetables, almonds, and certain types of fish can all contribute to healthy calcium intake. Vitamin D is equally important because without enough vitamin D, your body can't absorb calcium efficiently. Some people get enough vitamin D through sunlight and diet, while others may need supplements based on their healthcare provider's recommendations. Exercise also plays a powerful role. Walking, dancing, hiking, climbing stairs, resistance training, and other weight-bearing activities encourage your bones to stay stronger because bones respond to the stresses placed upon them. Think of exercise as sending your skeleton a message that says, "Stay strong because I still need you." On the other hand, spending long periods inactive can contribute to bone loss over time. Balance exercises are another valuable tool because preventing falls is just as important as strengthening bones. Something as simple as improving balance can dramatically reduce the chances of suffering a serious fracture later in life. It's also worth paying attention to habits that weaken bones. Smoking has been linked to lower bone density, and excessive alcohol intake may interfere with the body's ability to build healthy bone. Making healthier choices in these areas benefits not only your skeleton, but also your heart, lungs, brain, and overall well-being. Remember, taking care of your bones isn't only about living longer, it's about living better. Strong bones help you stay independent, travel, enjoy hobbies, play with your children or grandchildren, and continue doing the activities that make life meaningful. A single fracture can sometimes change a person's confidence, mobility, and quality of life for months or even years. That's why prevention matters so much. If today's video helped you recognize even one warning sign you hadn't considered before, then it has already done something valuable. Knowledge gives you the opportunity to take action before a small problem becomes a much bigger one. If you found this information useful, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up because it helps more people discover these important health tips. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy practical, easy to understand health advice designed to help you stay healthier as you age. And finally, share this video with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a sibling, or a close friend. Sometimes one simple conversation can encourage someone to get checked before a preventable fracture changes their life forever. Thank you so much for spending these minutes with me. Take care of yourself, take care of your bones, stay active, stay informed, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.